What's up, guys? It's David Trigg with another video. We're going to actually look at some of the plugins that I use to produce beats here in Ableton Live, so let's get right into it. I want to walk you through first some of the actual sample packs that I love, that I enjoy. There's two. There's Cash Money AP. Are you familiar with Cash Money? He has some amazing plugins. Let me see if you can hear this. You definitely can hear that, right? Yeah. So these are all his 808s. Now let me walk you through how do you actually use these 808s. How do you actually do a line or a melody with that? So again, in Ableton Live, this is by the way 10.1. You first right click and you open I believe it's a MIDI track, yes. And then you double click on the sample, let's say it's here, this first one. And then Ableton, it's so amazing, it automatically opens a simpler down here. And then, let's see, I don't think my keyboard is working, but let me see if my keyboard can get loaded here, if I can plug it in really quick so that I can show you. There we go. So there it is. So then you can, let's just put something in here. Let's see. Let's do, yeah, 120, why not? Let's do that. Let's do it in the key of E minor. Now you notice that particular sample is a little wobbly. Let's try this one. That's better, yeah. Let's do it in C minor. Let's see, here we go. So there's a little 4-bar something. Let's see if we could just hear that again. Little 4-bar deal. Let's actually fix that. Let's put this one up here. Okay, so there is a little 4-bar something. Let's change this to the grid here to bars. Okay, so now that is how you do an 808. Now, normally, if you're going to actually build something, you would lower this to, you would lower this to about C3 right there. Yeah. So these are all the 808 samples. Now, he also has claps, which are awesome. Amazing. And he puts them 1, 2, 3 basically to describe his favorite one. Now, there are two ways in Ableton that you can do this. You can just simply drag the clap. Let's actually move this grid to 8ths. So you can just go on 1, 2, 3, clap, 1, 1, clap. So you can do it on 2 and 4. So let's try that. 2 and 4, duplicate. There's 4, so here's what it sounds like. Actually, I meant on beat 2, not on bar 2. So let me fix that right quick. There you go. So then if you like that, you can duplicate that. And then there's that. Now, some of these sound like snares, so you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you get a snare to go with a clap, because that is the sound these days. There's a classic trap clap. I mean snare. So the same thing again. 2/4, and yes, you do combine them with the clap. That's the trap sound. Now it's nice to put a little fade here, just because it softens the sound a bit. So let's do that. Why not? So we're gonna actually delete all this here, and then just go and copy that. Now let's see. So I would lead with the more metallic snare and then complement that, meaning have the clap be a little lower in volume. Right around there. Here we go. So, and then all you're missing here is a kick, right? And some hats. So let's go for the kicks. Again, these are all Cash Money's. I believe this is a free drum pack that he has, or if it is not free, it's not expensive. So let's try the kicks. They're all so good. Let's just do, I like 2. Just preference, that's all it is. So the kick would be on 1 and 3. Okay, so again, add a little bit of a fade here just to make it nice and pretty. 1 and 3. And then we're going to copy and paste the whole bar and start from the beginning. Maybe you want to do it on 1. It sounds like this particular beat needs it on 1, not on 3. You hear that? More of a, I don't know what style this is, but let's see. Maybe we want it on the and 3 or and 2. Let's see here if that sounds right. That's kind of more the idea. So let's copy and paste that. Let's delete this and now copy and paste this. Okay, so let's try it. So you hear there's some room there for some fun. You hear it? Like hear it, ba-bum. Let's see. Let's try it again. Right there. Boom. Right there. Let's see what we're hearing there. I wonder if they're 8s or 16s. Yeah, I think it's more of right here, huh? Again, we're just playing here. Just playing. So let's move the grid to 16s. So we have more room to play with, even 30 seconds, what I actually did there. Let's see here. Let's see what that sounds like. Almost. There it is. We want another one there. Let's see. Not quite. Almost. 30 seconds. So now we're getting really tight here. But let's see if we can squeeze something in. It's just we're gonna get rid of the whole sound if we keep. Let's see. It's even more here. There it is. That's what we want. Sometimes it just takes practice and patience to get what you want. There we go. So now we're going to just copy and paste all that. So we don't have to do all that nonsense again. Copy and paste this. And now we have the beat. Let's try it. Because at the end of the phrase we want to be fun, we're going to add a paka. Let's see if that's what I'm hearing. I think that's it. I don't know if I want this one here now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I want this one. Keep it a little funky. All right. Now the last thing you want to add are some hats. Let's see. There it is. Hats on. Now what I like about FL Studio, you know, a lot of producers they use FL, is I don't know how they did, but if you bring in a like this, it automatically puts it, the mixer puts it every 8th note. Genius. Ableton, why don't you do that? You have to instead copy and paste, blah, blah. I mean, for all of these things, most of the time, 90% of the time, you're going to start with the kick on 1, the snare on 2, and the hi-hats on 8, every 8th. So I wish Ableton would do what FL does, where it automatically populates this all the way through, but it doesn't. So we have to do it manually. So we do it 1, 2. That's not even it. We want it 16ths. Okay. Let's see here. That's what you want. That's the sound. Sound of love right there. Okay. So now let's copy and paste that all the way through. See all that process there? FL does it in like a second. You bring in that one like this, that one WAV file, and it goes all the way through. Someday. Okay, I think that's all we need. All these nice mixer presets. I don't know, these are just Nexus, Perk. Yeah, Perk is nice. Make that open hi-hat kind of sound. Does he have open hi-hats here somewhere? Where are the hats? Hits. Are those doing the same thing? Hits? No, those are hits. Hits are hits. There we go. I don't hear any open hi-hats, so maybe he calls them perks. Like that's like an open hi-hat. So let's add an open hi-hat. Normally it's before the 1. So like and 1, and 2. Let's see. This is not really an open hi-hat. It sounds more like a crash. Let's change the grid once again to 8s. The reason you do that is so that the sample snaps to where you want it to snap versus 16s or 30 seconds. If you want it to snap every 8th, then you change the grid to 8th, and the grid is down here. Then you use Command 1 or 2 to change the grid, which is genius. I love most things about Ableton. That almost sounds good. Yeah, why not? You know, now I missed this last kick here, so I think I'm going to bring it back in. Change the grid. Speaking of grids, so I think it was a 16th, or maybe it was a 32nd grid. Let's see here. Too much. Let's see there. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll leave it. All right. So then we'll add one last thing. Let's just close all these. Option, and then you go up, and I love that feature right there. Again, I love Ableton. Let me save this just because I like it. Let's call it Funky Music. How about Funky Day? Funky Night. It's almost nighttime. And we'll put this on Ableton, Funky Night, under Projects, and just go from there. Funky Night. All right. And let me just check here really quick how you're doing here on Ableton. I mean on OBS. Okay, it seems like you're okay. Great. And you can hear the desktop, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, last thing we'll do is we'll add some keys just because we can. Let's see here. Here we go. So that was like in. Sounds like almost like a major key, huh? Ba ba ba. It sounds more like an A minor. Yeah, it's more. This is an A minor. So yeah, it's just C natural, C major, A minor. So yeah, it's an A minor though. Yeah, so it's an A minor basically. Here we go. Let's record something. First, let's practice. I don't think that's right. Where am I here? Yeah, I think that should be. I don't know why. You know what? I think yeah, that's what's happening. So one thing with the 808s that you always have to watch for is that they are tuned. This is not tuned. This 808. That's not an A, even though it sounds like an A. That's a C right there, but it doesn't sound like a C here. See, it sounds like an A. So we got to bring this up to a C. Now let me change these settings here. Every time I double tap this mouse, it does weird things. Point and click, secondary click, click on right sides. I don't know how to change this part, swipe between pages. I don't know. I don't know why it's secondary click, click on right side. Yeah, I want to do that. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so back to the 808. We have to bring this up. So you go to Controls, Transpose, bring it up. So here's what it's supposed to sound like. Ba. Now let's remember. Ba. Ba. I think that's it right there. Okay, let's try it. Let's see what it sounds like here. Let's try it. Once again. That sounds weird, huh? Let's see. Oh yeah, see? Because now the notes are wrong. Yeah, yeah. So now I have to change all this. That's what happened. So now we go right there. Yeah. There we go. Let's try it. Let's see what we can do here. Try that there. I think this is still, I think that 808 needs to be down one. Yeah. We're gonna get rid of the bass here. I don't think we need the bass. We already have a bass. We don't need that either. We already have a bass. Well, maybe it'll add a little bit of body. What we're going to do is bring this down a whole octave to make it sound more 808. Oh, okay. That didn't do that. That did something else. There we go. Then you'll lose everything, you see. We might have to change this sample, is what I'm noticing. Let's see if we can change the actual 808 sample itself. Back to 808s here. Let's try that one. Nah. Sub. Let's try that one. Again, we have to change to 3, I think it was, right? Yeah. AC. This 808 isn't sounding right, so I think what we're going to do is detune it a little bit. Okay, so that basically is the beginning of a beat. So that's kind of how you start something, just using, again, just these Cash Money AP samples. And you can then from there add a second melody, a third melody. You can add all kinds of good stuff from there. Of course, mix it, add compression, effects, arrange it, and make it really awesome. But that's the beginning of a beat. I hope you enjoy that. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time.